Fantasy Football Today, presented by Caesar Sportsbook and Casino. Week 18 games coming up on CBS today at 1 o'clock Eastern. Patriots at Bills, that's the spotlight game. We're all excited to see how Buffalo performs following the Damar Hamlin situation last week. Texans at Colts. We'll see if the Texans can secure the number 1 pick in the NFL draft by losing. Browns and Steelers should be interesting with playoff implications on the line there as well. And then the Ravens and Bengals. We know the Bengals have a lot to play for. Ravens will find out what their motivation level is as well. We'll start with the Jets and Dolphins game as we bring on Jason La Canfora here to join us on Fantasy Football Today, helping you win money as he has all season long. So JLC, let's start with that game in Miami between the Jets and the Dolphins. Two quarterbacks that we did not expect to see, Joe Flacco versus Skylar Thompson. Dolphins are 3.5-point favorites here at home. Playoff implications on the line, over under 37. What's the play for you?
Just going to go under here, Jamie. I don't love this game. This is a weird week for a lot of reasons, and this quarterback matchup kind of sums it up. Jets can still play some defense. Miami has issues on that side of the ball, but, I mean, Miami's still alive. You know Mike McDaniel's trying to salvage this season, and they do still have skill players, although obviously big questions at the quarterback position. Joe Flacco, what is that really, you know what I mean, going to look like? I mean, you could make the case he's inspired, probably his final time playing in the NFL. You could also make the case that he's a guy who hasn't played a lot of football lately. And really, for a former, Super Bowl MVP, what is at stake here? I just look for this to be a fairly ugly football game. In the year of the under, they're hitting at 55%, most since 91. I'll just go under and say that these two teams can't conspire for 38 points.
It'll be a field goal fest. We'll see how things go there. Again, no Mike White. He's out with the rib injury. Tua Tagovailoa out with the concussion. Browns at Steelers. Steelers win and get some help, and they find themselves in the playoffs. They're 2.5-point favorites here at home, over under 40. How do you see this one unfolding?
I like the Steelers to take care of business here. They can't control whether they get in the playoffs or not, but obviously they've been a different team since going into their bye 2-6. You look at their defense since then, with Watt coming back. Over the last 6 games, they're allowing under 17 points a game, turning people over at an elite rate. Minka Fitzpatrick's getting his hands on the ball. Deshaun Watson, it's not pretty there from a passing standpoint. He's good for an interception in this game. I mean, even last week, we were talking about 9 receptions. We're talking about not 170 yards even through the air. And Pittsburgh, you go back to them getting run over by the Ravens for over 200 yards a month ago. They've adopted more of a bear front. They're using 6 down linemen. It shut down Carolina and their rushing attack. It shut down Josh Jacobs, number 1 runner in the league. It really mitigated Baltimore a week ago. It wasn't anything like the first meeting. I don't think Chubb's going to be able to run wild. I think they're going to dare and try to goad Deshaun Watson into making some mistakes. Kenny Pickett doesn't turn the ball over, in the Steelers the last 6 games running for about $150 on the ground per game. You look at True Media, some of their advanced metrics, defensive rushing, EPA. They've got the Browns 32nd in the NFL. Give me Kenny Pickett and Mike Tomlin to take care of business here. Whether it gets them in the playoffs or not, I don't know. But Mike Tomlin doesn't have losing seasons.
That's very true, trying to get to that above 500 record again, and we'll see if he's able to do that against the Browns. Texans at Colts. Oh, this is going to be a fun one, JLC. Can't wait to watch this one. The Colts are 2.5-point favorites at home here. The over-under 37.5. What's the play for you?
My play is for them to get back to overtime like they did in Week 1, plus 881. Nobody wants to win this football game. They just want to lose it. They want draft capital. No, look, seriously, they did play a 2020 tie Week 1. It took them 50 minutes of football to be stuck at 40 points. I'm just going to go under here. Sam Ehlinger, that looked really bad the last time around. He'll run around. He'll scramble. I guess both these teams will try to run the football. I just have a hard time backing either of them. I don't expect much. If you want to go back to the first game, the Colts did hold the ball for almost 40 minutes. But, I mean, that was 4 quarterbacks ago. That was Matt Ryan's first stint as their starter. I just have to go under here, Jamie, if I do anything at all. And again, personally, this is not a game I'm investing in. There's just too much blah.
That's definitely the case. I can't imagine a lot of people looking forward to watching that one. The Panthers at Saints. This could be a fun game. The Saints are 3.5-point favorites at home, over under 42. We've seen these offenses play well at times. These defenses certainly played well at times. Which of these teams will show up today, and what's the play for you in this one, JLC?
I'm going to say that Carolina can't get to 20 points here. This Saints defense the last 4 weeks has been pretty ironclad and airtight. We've seen them get a little healthier, especially on the back end. Guys like Lattimore, I think they're controlling the ball a little bit better now with Taysom Hill being more involved in their red zone offense. I could see them systematically sort of wearing on Carolina a little bit. Sam Darnold has done a really good job of not throwing picks, but man, I've seen a lot of Sam Darnold over the years. And I certainly think he's got one or two in him today. I look for this to be a lower scoring game. I really like the way the Saints defense is playing right now. In particular, Carolina 1-6 on the road. I like the Saints at home in this spot. The 3 in the hook scares me a little bit. So let's just say the Panthers don't get to 20 points.
Should be interesting to see. Andy Dalton versus Sam Darnold. It might be the last time we're saying those guys as starting quarterbacks in the NFL. JLC, great job as always. We appreciate your time all throughout the season here on Fantasy Football Today. You see JLC's picks for Week 18. Likes the under between the Jets and the Dolphins. The Steelers to cover the 2.5 against the Browns. The under between the Texans and the Colts. And Carolina with the team total under 19.5 to keep them under 20 points.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.